Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of panel discussion by Quadrant Knowledge Solutions. The panelists for today are Apurva, Kunal and Pranjal. So let's begin. There's a lot of hubbub regarding business process management. BPM has been around for decades now. The use of BPM and different tools have shifted with advancements in RPA, process mining, and so on and so forth. There's also a lot of buzz regarding AI. So, to begin with, Kunal, there's a lot of talk about sustainability. So, do you think BPM vendors are working towards it, or is it just in the concept stage?
The concept of the sustainability goes a long way back. And when we look at the BPM vendors, it's an emergence for them to act upon it now. Because as the climate change is happening, sustainability is something every vendor or every enterprise or business should strive for. Because the company's energy requirements are changing, the processes are rapidly evolving. So, what we mean by sustainability, and to be honest, there's a definitive term for it. It's called the green BPM. So, what we mean by the green BPM is green business process management, and green is particularly means environment sustainability. So, BPM gives you the tools, concepts to model, implement, operate, and monitor the business processes. And when the sustainability part adds to it, it means the dedication of the businesses to create the same output with the minimum environmental damages. So I think yes, it's a thing, and it will definitely create an impact in the 2024. And the vendors should definitely look out for their carbon emissions and their environmental sustainability outputs.
To give an example about green BPM, which Kunal mentioned, I wanted to highlight that there is a vendor in process mining, which is MPMX, and they have developed a dedicated CO2 emission app where they track all the CO2 footprints of the organization. Like they have the dashboard, which is very easy to use. So all the processes which are happening, like the ETL processes or any other process, they can track in that dashboard what are the carbon emissions happening in the organization. And Kunal mentioned about green BPM, which is a trend in the BPM space. So the another trend is artificial intelligence. Like we are hearing a lot about generative AI right now. So if we talk about generative AI in the process mining, like it helps in data synthesis. Like process mining takes data from um, event log, which is generated by CRM processes or like IT processes. So from that, sometimes data is missing. So generative AI helps in data synthesis. It can fill the gap in the data. The another thing generative AI is helping in they are giving the dashboards which are very interactive. Like there are a lot of colors, and also every stakeholders have different dashboard and they can see what is happening in the processes. The another thing in which AI is helping in real time simulation, which ultimately helps in the digital turn of an organization. So like they can do the real time simulation, they can directly take data and perform the simulation and identify the gaps and what are the constraints in the processes. And in the last, I can see, especially in the process mining market, there is a lot of integration from IoT. So the data from IoT devices can be integrated into process mining, and like vendors can perform like the process discovery and conformance checking and all. Another thing, just I remembered, like the intelligent process excellence or the process intelligence, where like the process mining vendors are integrating task mining in their solution. So what task mining helps? So task mining helps in the to get the insights about what in the employee level, at the employee level. So you get the insights on employee level, and process mining gives the strategic insights. So by combining those insights, that there would be better decision making. And I come across a term intelligent process excellence, so which is nothing but the combination of process mining, task mining, customer journey mining, with the AI. So if we use all this technology in combination, so there would be better decision making. And it gives a option to customers, like they can pick and choose what technology they
Yeah.
wanted to use. Yeah, so I think that's it. What are the trends I'm seeing in the BPM and process mining market?
So I think BPM and process automation has been there for long, right? So Apurva, if I have to ask you, do you think other than what they have mentioned, are there any more fundamental transformations in the same?
Hey Saranya, thanks. I think first of all, Kunal and Pranjal have genuinely highlighted quite some significant trends. I think green BPM or sustainability in general, you can never speak enough about it, especially in the post-pandemic world. And I think especially with the awareness about climate change and other things, uh, what we genuinely need to focus on is developments in technology, but sustainable developments in technology. I think a good point highlighted by Kunal. 2020 2023 for quadrant, I think it has been very interesting as well in terms of us diving into and creating or understanding new concepts, or creating or going into different studies. I think intelligent process excellence is something that we are really proud of in the recent past. To answer your question, Saranya, I think one word answer would be the term called as convergence, right? Convergence is something that we are very, very actively looking at, and we are very actively researching on. We are observing that as well across the BPM and process automation domain. Now, why do I say that? Well, let me start with a terminology. I think I've spoken about it in other videos, but we are talking about trends. We need to mention something called as intelligent process orchestration, right? So, although I've talked about it enough, in a nutshell, intelligent process orchestration, that's a terminology that Quadrant Knowledge Solutions has coined. What we believe is that it's not just enough to understand uh, how fast automation is happening or how fast automation could be happening. It's also not only important to understand where all automation should be happening, but the most important process is to understand how the processes are interacting with each other, and relative to their happenings or relative to their undertakings, how does automation play a crucial role in that? When should automation be applied to which process in relation to the other process, right? So that in nutshell is intelligent process orchestration. I think intelligent process orchestration is one of the biggest trends I think that is happening in the domain of BPM and process automation. I'll connect the dots and I'll again come back to intelligent process orchestration in a short time. I think BPM and process automation, I mean, or BPM and RPA, these terms in today's times are used interchangeably, but BPM and RPA, definitely it's not the same. RPA talks more about which processes to automate and how to automate them. BPM talks about when to automate those processes in relation to each other, and how to automate the processes of the business so that the functioning of the business occurs smoothly, right? So now there is a theory that, well, RPA and BPM could collide, and that RPA could take over BPM, or the relevance of BPM could no longer exist. But in my opinion, as of now in 2024 and moving forward as well, I think RPA and BPM will coexist. They will exist in sustenance with each other. They won't eat into each other's pies. That is what I'm trying to think here. This takes me to the next point. There is a lot of hue and cry about the terminology of, say, intelligent automation or intelligent process automation. But I think until end-to-end intelligent automation is achieved, I think the complete relevance of BPM would not become zero, and the relevance of RPA won't hit the roof, right? So I think with every passing year, we are coming to realize that there will be a lot of developments in intelligent automation, but still the ideal intelligent automation that everyone envisions, I think that is still a long way to go, and that won't be achieved in 2024. That is my prediction. When we dive a little deeper, there are some obvious trends like low code development, right? So I think Kunal or Pranjal, someone mentioned about low code. I think low-code development is again going to play a very significant role in the context of BPM and process automation. Democratization of automation is going to happen, and that can only happen in case citizen developers have a better leverage as against the traditional so-called business developers. And I think the way forward for 2024 or 5 or 6, with the inclusion of generative AI, as Pranjal mentioned, the key here is going to be citizen developers, and for that democratization of automation is going to happen. One of the biggest trends, I feel, it's an ongoing trend, obviously, which will go into 2025 as well. The next thing would be a very nuanced and effective collaboration between the workforce, and not only the workforce, but the every process that involves the workflow as well, right? What I mean by that, there would be a better synthesis of data, there would be better enhancements in the data fabric, there would be better management of data, there would be better infusion of something like chat box, there would be better management of the data which comes from the employee and the customer side. And all in all, what this will lead to in the context of BPM is that it will lead to an enhanced customer experience. So ultimately, every BPM vendor would be moving towards an advanced and nuanced customer experience, and these things that I just mentioned would play a significant role in that. Moving forward, I think another significant trend would be a key emphasis on, because now we are talking about understanding the data between customer and employees, we also need to understand that there are a lot of systems at play which interact with each other, right? And for that, there will be an enhanced understanding, development, and implementation of RESTful APIs and advanced integrations, right? Because if that happens, is only when complex systems could be interacting with each other on an effective level and data synthesis can happen in a right manner. Another thing that comes to my mind, I think, is a very robust understanding and implementation of the GRC and compliance frameworks, right? Because as the complexity of the systems increases, as the complexity of the customer-employee, vendor-employee interactions increases, obviously to handle that data and to ensure security and privacy, I think adhering to those compliance and GRC frameworks overall plays a key role. So I think BPM vendors would have to focus on those, especially in the post-pandemic world, the kind of digital cloud that has burst overall, right? The most lay of the layman's, they are using technology to a different extent. What else? I think the last thing that comes to my mind, I'll loop back to the point of generative AI. I think in general, there has to be, and there is already an infusion and explosion of AI into different BPM technologies. Now, why that happens? I think I'll just elaborate quickly on that. One of the things here, I believe, is that how can BPM vendors achieve that, right? One way could be enhancing their understanding and development of large language models, enhancing their understanding about customer centricity, about customer preferences, enhancing their data management capabilities. So basically, the touch points are endless, and BPM vendors need to upskill themselves on a holistic level, and only then can they actually start developing, implementing, and disbursing the different AI technologies that are relevant, right? So circling back to my previous point, I think convergence is the word for BPM and process automation vendors. Convergence is going to be the key. There are a lot of acquisitions that are happening in this space as well. There are numerous vendors who are acquiring, like there are BPM and process automation vendors who are acquiring small task mining vendors, or there are BPM and process automation vendors who are acquiring probably process mining vendors. Process mining vendors are acquiring task mining vendors. So I think that churning is continually going on. I'm not a cynic, and I'm not of the opinion that something like, and Pranjal and I discuss routinely, that task mining, whether it will get over, whether process mining will get over. I think particular and pinpointed importance of those technologies will remain. But I think what I said in the beginning, something like intelligent process orchestration. So the market needs to look at itself holistically. Vendors need to look at the market holistically. And these are the things that would be focused on by the vendors. So all in all, 2024 seems to be very interesting and exciting. And a last word from my side is, just in October 2022, I think the first round of ChatGPT was introduced in the world. By 1 year, almost half of the world is using it. So I think whatever trends we predict, the market and the vendors, they are sure to beat us. So I'm pretty much excited for 2024. Thank you so much. That's it from my side.
So, adding to your point, Apoor, like you mentioned about convergence, and you talked about intelligent automation. So, like it's correct. Like the prediction is going in the right direction. Like a process mining vendor, Celonis, like recently in the month of October, they acquired Symbio, which is a BPM vendor. And like you talked about intelligent automation, like it's like right now it's impossible for organization to achieve end-to-end automation without any human intervention. So for that, I think they need a composable architecture,
Yeah.
and they need to work on modularity
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. So I just wanted to add these points.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for participating in today's discussion. Thank you all for watching this video. Stay tuned for more such updates.